Aloha, this is Richard Halverson, ITS128, and today is the last day of class, last day of regular class. It's Thursday, December 10th. And so let me share my screen. And here we are. Let's see. So we are going to finish up. We've actually covered all that we're probably going to cover in chapter 12. As far as the textbook goes, and we're gonna we're gonna cover these two labs today, and I think that's about it. As you know, there's not going to be a final, and there was no midterm either, so it's just these assignments. I read somewhere, or I don't know if this is a policy of Manoa or this is actually written somewhere, but I just recently read that classes are supposed to have final exams, and so if that ever happens in my classes, then I would just make some assignment be assigned during finals week. Okay, so I don't think I'd ever have any kind of proctored final, but anyway, so in the future I may end up structuring my if you ever take a class from me in the future. But anyway, okay, so let's go and see where we are. We're in chapter 12. This is the last chapter, and it's files, and it's a pretty a powerful thing to know how to do is to read and write files, because then you can do anything after that, pretty much. And we covered reading and writing text files. We did mention binary data, and that's things like if you open up the a file that's actually an image, then you see a bunch of gobbledygook. That's binary data, but we're dealing with text data, with files that end up having text in them. So yes, Robert raised your hand.
Hey, Professor. I wanted to ask. I remember early on in the semester you had said if we're not having like a final, like all the ZyBook assignments and the labs, when do the students have to have it all completed by? And then also too, I think maybe it was Aaron, the other student. Some of the ones that weren't assigned, but we could still do it in ZyBooks. If we did complete those, could we get extra credit? Because I remember when Aaron or one of the other classmates asked, he said to feel free to do those assignments that aren't assigned, and if you want to get more practice, so we can get maybe some extra points.
Yes. I would just if you do the some of the optional ones, I'm not sure. Like 10 and 11 were optional, weren't they? Yeah, 10 and 11
10 and 11 are optional, but I mean they're still get points, and then the ones I think others that were optional, but there's two. I think two. Hold on a second. There's two
chapters in the middle.
There.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12. Those were the ones that if we.
Why don't you do if you do them, I'll just add the points on. Okay, I mean I'll just add the points on. So
okay.
And that's, I mean, it's good material. I mean, so of course you should try to get the points in the regular stuff first, but this exceptions and modules are especially important if you're going to go on in programming, and they're important concepts. It's just that we kind of didn't have time to get into it. I'm still getting used to this book, and I thought that I sort of have a philosophy of I try to teach you know, the content that's there like really completely. I mean, you know, you should try to work and do read the chapters and do the labs um, without following my doing them step by step. It's best if you sort of sit back and watch me do them, and then you sit down and do them, and you try to remember what I said, and you sort of develop your own train of thought. But if you're stuck, of course, then you can just go back to the video and do it step by step. Hopefully, you know, you are able to kind of learn it that way. Um, and um, and in this class, I didn't really have too much of just giving you a programming assignment, and then, you know, you're on your own. You know, that if you move on, go on to later, you know, to take later programming classes, and you have projects where you're asked to build something, and then you actually design it and then code it. You know, those are the times when you will actually be, you know, doing a lot of developing on your own. And just like everything else, you're going to go and search the internet and find some code that's pretty close to what you want to do, but it's not going to be exactly what you want to do, because what you want to do is unique to your thing. And then you're going to take that code and you're going to get that to run, and then you're going to start modifying it and evolve it into what you're doing. So in these classes, you know, all of the the earlier chapters where we're learning how to code these little things, and we get them to run, and we see what we mean by getting it to run. You know, it asks the user for some input, and then you enter the input, and then it does some stuff and prints some stuff out, and you know what it's supposed to do, and then you see it, you get it to work like it's supposed to. And that's what writing code is, and getting it to work. And but these little exercises that we're going through are just like basic exercises that don't really do anything. But, you know, it's when you're going to actually build something that matters, that you know, then your mind gets into it. And so yes, so if you want, if you are you know, you can go in and do the exceptions and modules, and do the participation points, do those participation points. And that's, you know, and I see, are there any, let me just view the Content Explorer, but I think, are there any, let me take this off and go to, yeah, let me just take, go down to 10 and 11. Yeah, there's a participation, there's some challenges, and there's some labs too. And so, in fact, those would probably be pretty good labs, because, you know, they're farther along and they test out these concepts. Yeah, so yeah, that would be just great. That'd be great extra credit. And I'll just add the points on. All right, so but today let's go into chapter. We're gonna do 12.9 and 12.10 today. Let's see. So these are kind of weird, weird problems. But okay, so this one, write a program that first reads in the name of an input file and then reads the file. And they want us to use this csv.reader method that we talked about last time. And so the file is going to contain a list of words separated by commas. So, you know, it's going to look like this. Here's a list of words separated by commas. And I guess this CSV file only has one such row. So it's kind of weird. But anyway, so we're supposed to read that up. And then we're supposed to list the words. And next to each word, we're supposed to say how many times that word appears in this row here. Okay, so, and you should only print out a word once. Okay, so for example, cat appears here and cat appears here. And by the way, this is not the same kind of cat because it's capital C and these are lowercase c's. So the word cat, when it prints out here, is followed by 2 because there's two of these words. And you notice it's the first time it's encountered that it prints out the total number. And then there's must be 2 mans, and there's 2 hays, hay and hay, and so on. All right, so to write a, is this my program? Yeah, shoots. Okay, so let's start over again. I must have, I guess I put something in there, it stays, huh? All right, so oh yeah, this one. All right, so we're gonna start out by importing the .csv, .csv class, and then our code is we're gonna see. I'm gonna bring up my so I'm gonna get rid of this, and I'm gonna make how do I get this? Does anybody know how I? Oh, there we go. All right, so this is my test.py, but I also have to make a this thing input1.csv. So I'll grab this, copy, and let me oh, here's input1.txt. Oh, look at it, this is from last time. Delete that. I'm gonna paste this here, and I'm gonna what if I should do a second line? Oh, I don't need to. All right, so I'm gonna save this, and I think it saves on the desktop. Save as, yes, on the desktop here. Input1.txt. Oh, .csv. I'm gonna name it input1.csv. CSV. Okay, input1.csv. By the way, let me just show you if since it's .csv, then you'll notice it looks like, where did it end up? Get this out of here. Close this. Where's input? Here it is. See, it looks like an Excel icon, and I can open it up. I can double click on it, and lo and behold, it opens up into an Excel document. And there are these words. See that? So that's .csv file. Now, in this problem we're doing is just some dumb thing. It's not. We're not taking advantage of all the fact that it's a .csv file and you can open it up in an Excel document. But anyway, so that's that. And then this is my test.py that I'm working on right now. All right, so so first we're going to have to import this. Let me make this smaller. Oops. Okay, we want import.csv. Okay, and then we're going to want to read in the file name. Okay, do you remember yesterday or Tuesday we made it made it an argument, a system argument. Use that argv thing, but I'm not going to do that this time. So file name, equals input enter .csv file name. And then I'm going to, all right, so the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to, let's do some strategy here. To prove it's me. All right, so so we have a list that looks like this: hello, Catman, and what I'm with the hard part. Okay, so so I read it in, and it's going to be row word list. Okay, so I have this list that looks like this, and when I read that in using a CSV file, I'm going to end up with let me write some code here. Open with so I'm going to use the with thing. With open, recall from last time, the file name. I don't know why it does that. Okay, file name, comma, and I'm just going to open it as a read. So, and I don't have to do this if I'm opening it just as a read, but I'm going to do it anyway. As CSV file, I'm going to say as CSV file. Okay, and then I'm going to use this CSV.reader method to create an object called user file. Is a CSV reader, and I'm reading this. This is like the handle for opening the file, CSV file. And I have to say what the delimiter is. Okay, so it probably defaults to comma because it's CSV. C stands for comma, but I think you got to put this in here anyway. Delimiter, be interesting to test that. Equals comma. So so it opens up this this CSV file. It opens up this file, and it's calling it CSV file. Okay, that's what we're calling it. And then this CSV.reader method takes the CSV file and splits it all up into rows, and each row is split up according to the commas inside the row. Okay, that's what this thing does. That's what this whole thing does. It takes this whole big blob, this whole great big file, and it recognizes that there's rows in there because there's carriage returns. So it splits them up into rows, and then in each one of the rows, it's assuming that this is the column delimiter, a comma, and so it splits up each row into commas. So this ends up being a bunch of a list of lists, because it's got rows as a list, and each row is a list of elements in it as columns. So so once we have that, we can do 4. We can iterate through the rows. And in our example here, there's only 1 row, but it could be more than 1. We iterate through the rows, and I'm going to call them row for each row in user file. So, you know, if there's 5 rows in the spreadsheet, then there's going to be 5 rows in here, and this would iterate 5 times. But for each row, okay, so now we're on 1 row, and there is only 1 row, so it's this. There is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many elements or columns. And so here we're going to index through them. 4, and we're going to use an index. So when we refer to these things, we're going to refer to the 0th one, the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, and so on. So we're going to iterate through the row, not by just grabbing one element at a time, but by iterating through using an index. And then with that index, we will index the particular word that's there. So for an index in a range, and for an index, it's always a range. It's equal to 0 to something, or range of the length of the row. So it's going to be, so if there's 10, let's see, how many are there? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, there's 14 words in here. So this is going to go from 0 to 13, and because this is 14, it's going to go to from 0 to 13. And for each one of those, I have to figure out how many okay, so the word there is going to be, I'm going to say word is row of index, right? That's the word that we're talking about. And so I got to count up how many of those words there are in this whole row. So I can do that by going num words equals row. In my row, this is a list. Count up how many of word there is. So this count method, which comes along with a row, which is a list, comes along with this is a list. So this is a list, and we're indexing through that list, the list of words, this thing. And this grabs out what the word is. This has this, so it's going to be like hello or something. And then this counts up how many hellos there are. This counts them up how many hellos there are in the row. And so this is going to be the number of words of that particular word type. So when it comes to cat, it'll count up the number of cats, and it's going to find another one here. So it'll be 2 cats. All right, now I want to make it so so once I encounter a word, I don't need to do I don't need to encounter it again. Okay, so what I'm going to do? Okay, so I can, let me print out. All right, I'm doing this part right now. Okay, so I'm going to print out what this would look like, and it's going to look like print, and it's going to be I'm going to do the first operand is going to be the word, and the second operand is going to be the num words, and that's going to be the format, and the first one is going to be word, and the second one is going to be num words. Okay, now the problem with this is that the next time the same word comes, this doesn't have any code in here to remember that we've already done a word, if we in fact have already done it. Okay, let's just run this to see what this looks like. Okay, I'm gonna run this to see what this looks like. Save this, and I think I've got my other thing saved. So let me bring this up, and I'm gonna go cd desktop and Python test.py, and it asks me, boom, expected end of file while parsing. Line 13. Oh, I need to close up something. I need to close this thing. There, that's what. There we go. I need to close the print. Okay, let's see if it works now. Enter a file name, and the file name was input1.csv. Okay, and so it does hello, cat, man, hey, dog, boy, capital hello, man does man again, does cat again. Okay, so this should somehow remember. It's got to somehow remember that it's already done cat. It's got to remember that it's already done man. Okay. So so let's create a list, and all that list is going to contain is whenever we do a word, whenever we print this out, we'll just remember the name, or we'll put that word in a list, and then okay, so let's do that. So I'm going to create a list called already printed, and it's just going to be a list. And so once I do this, I'm going to say, I'm going to put the word into already printed. So I'm already printed dot append word. So now I have my list of already printed words, and maybe then I want to do something like this. If word is not in already printed, then we do this. So that's all we have to do. And in fact, we actually can put this one, I'm going to cut this out and put it down here just to, because I only have to calculate this once. I only have to have this, I only need this when I'm going to print it. So no sense doing it up here, because the second time I see cat, I'm going to calculate this, and I will not have used it. All right, so this should actually input 1.csv. Okay, so that looks better. Okay. Is that all we have to do for this one? Oh yeah, this is the easier one. Okay, all right. Okay, so anyway, that's how you do that one. All right, so let's do the next one. Now this next one is a hard one. This is the hardest one. And so I think I'm probably not gonna try to do it all the way, and I'm gonna leave it for you to try. And if you have problems, you know, next week or something, just you can tell me, you show me your code, and I'll see if I can help you do it. And this might be like what a final would be. Okay, so now I didn't try to do this problem. You know, there's lots of ways to do this problem, and there's some more direct, easier ways in my mind to do them than the way the book wants you to do them, or the way it tells you how to do it up here. Now, I'm not sure that you need to do it the way it tells you exactly how it does up here, because the way the auto grader works is the program runs and it tests the output, and the output's got to be correct. And as long as you make the output correct, it doesn't matter too much how you got there, you know. So, but anyway, so let's see what this problem is. Okay, so we're supposed to sorting TV shows. Okay, and we're going to be using dictionaries, and we're going to be using lists. We're going to actually have a dictionary of lists. So we're to write a program that first reads in the name of an input file, and then reads the file using the read lines method. Okay, so there's a file. It looks like that. That's the name of the file, and then what this file looks like is this. Okay, and what this is the number of seasons and the name of the show. So there was this show named Gunsmoke, and it ran for 20 seasons. And there was a show then there's a show called The Simpsons, which you know about, and that ran for 30 seasons. Is it still running? I think it might still be running. There's a show called Will and Grace that ran 10 seasons. Okay, and so on. And so you're supposed to make a list. A dictionary is supposed to make a dictionary that looks kind of like this. That's kind of structured like this, where this is the key value, and it's the number of seasons. Kind of a dumb key, but and then this is the show. This is the list of shows that ran for 10 seasons. This is the list of shows that ran for 12 seasons. Same with this. This is the only list that's actually got more than one element, but both Gunsmoke and Law and Order, both of those shows ran for 20 seasons, and The Simpsons ran for 30 seasons. So we read this, and then we create a dictionary, and then we print this out into this file, and then after that, you take this, you create a new list, which is just the names of the shows, and then you sort that list, and then you print that list out into the output titles.txt. Okay, so that's how it wants you to do it. Okay, now you could just read this in and print this out and create a separate list of these as you're reading them in, and then you already got the list. You already got this list, and all you got to do is sort it. But what they're asking you to do is to first create this list, first create this dictionary, then from the dictionary create the list. You're actually not creating. You're creating. This is the first one, the second one, third one. No. First one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, and sixth one. So anyway, all right. So let's do that. I'm gonna get rid of this, and let me make a input.txt. Oh, by the way, you can actually download it if you want to. Let me download it. I'm going to download it and store it on the desktop. Oh, it's a zip file. Forget it. So I'm just going to make it over here. It's this file. Copy. Over here, I'm going to put it in. I'm going to get rid of this, paste that there, and I'm going to save it as input.txt, file1.txt. File1.txt doesn't matter because it asks you what the file name is. But Is that right? There's space there? No. Okay, so it doesn't matter, but okay, so I got this file here, and all right, so let's start. Okay, so first of all, first I'm going to ask for the file name. File name equals input. Enter file name of movies or whatever. And then I want to open it up, create a handle, be able to access it, create an object, turn it into an object. Make my object, which is going to be user file. I'm going to call it user file, or maybe I'll call it movie file, equals open file name. So now I have a handle. Now I can access it, and so that's how I refer. So this is going to be how I refer to this file internally. And what I want to do is I want to use this read lines method that comes along with such objects that are created with this class. And so that would be so the read lines method returns a list of lines. So file list, I don't know, equals movie file dot read lines. Okay, so now this is an actual list of where this is the first element, this is the second element, this is the third element, fourth element. Okay, it's not too helpful yet. But I'm gonna declare my dictionary here. I'm gonna call it movie dictionary. How's that? Movie dict. And that's going to equal this. This is an empty dictionary. And then I'm going to have a list. Well, I'm going to start with this. So the first thing is I want to loop through all the read lines. And the first one is going to be, a number. It's going to be a number of seasons. And this next one after that is going to be the name of a show that corresponds to that season. So I'm going to do for whatever it is in the list. Fourth thing in the list. For thing in file list. Okay, so for each one of those rows, let's see, I got to do this differently. I'm going to index through them. Okay, so what they are is, we've got 10 Gunsmoke, 30 Simpsons, and this is index 0. This is index 1. This is index 2. This is index 3, so on like that. So I'm going to do index in the range of the length of file list, 0 to the range of the file list, to the length of the file list, every other one. I'm going to do every other one. That way, is that what I want to do? Yeah, that's what I want to do. So, so now it's going to be a dictionary. It's going to be the movie dictionary of file list index equals file list index plus 1. Yeah, I think that'll work. So, so the way this thing loops through is it's going to go first index is 0, then index is 2. And so when index is 0, it is, I'm setting, okay, so when index is 0, this is whatever is at index 0, which is 10. So that's going to be 10 in there, equals whatever is at index plus 1, which is Gunsmoke. So this says movie dictionary of 10 equals Gunsmoke, because this is Gunsmoke. When this is 0. Okay, next time around, this is going to be 2. So when this is 2, it's going to be 30. Movie dictionary of 30 equals Simpsons. All right, so so that's going to be fine. The problem comes in when we end up having a second movie that ran the same number of seasons as something previous to it. What happened to my? Oh, there it is.
I have a question.
Yes.
Going back to your code, I understand that for to open a dictionary, you write in the squiggly lines, and then for a list, it's the brackets. But then, in referring to the movie dictionary in the for loop, why do you refer to the movie dictionary with the brackets instead of the squiggly lines?
Okay. Okay. What's inside of here is actually, if we were to actually start this out, or after a while, after the first one, it's going to look like something like quote, well, Gunsmoke 20 quote colon quote Gunsmoke. End quote, comma, and then the next one's going to be 30 colon The Simpsons. Okay, let's say it looks like that. Okay, so in a list, okay, all right, you can index items in a list and you can index items in a dictionary. When you index items in a list, it's just by there's an item at index 0, there's an item at index 1, there's an item at index 2. So when you index them, you are just going, starting with 0 and going up the line. Whereas in a dictionary, it's not 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's what you say it is. This is quote 20. So the way you index Gunsmoke is by 20. So so let's say we're going to do this movie dictionary. Let's say we're going to do something else called movie. I'm going to call it LST just because do I have a movie list? No, I don't. Right, okay. LST equals, now let's say it's a list and it's just going to be Gunsmoke, and it's going to be the Simpsons. Okay, and so the way you index this is movie list of 0, this equals Gunsmoke, and movie list of 1 equals this. Now, if we were to use for the dictionary, movie dictionary of 20, it should be actually this. I mean, if this is actually quote, it's not. Actually, it's not quotes. It's actually just a number. It actually is a number. So I guess I should not have these quotes here. So if movie dictionary of 20 equals Gunsmoke, and movie dictionary of 30 equals The Simpsons. In fact, what I should do is I should do this. Let me do this. This is The Simpsons, and this is Gunsmoke, and this is Gunsmoke, and this is The Simpsons. And let's put this down here. And let's just comment this out. Okay, so here I have a movie list. I better declare movie list equals the brackets, and movie dictionary equals, did I declare that yet? Where is it? Oh, it was down there. Okay, and movie dictionary equals squigglies. And if I wanted to load up movie list, if I want to load it up, this is how I would load it up. I'd say the first, the 0th index is this, and the first index is this. Now, if I want to load up movie dictionary, it doesn't have to be just 0, 1, 2. In fact, if you put a movie list of 4, if you say movie list 4 is something, then there's going to be an empty spot. There's going to be an empty 3, and there's going to be an empty 2 and an empty 3, because you really are indexing these elements of the list. And if the index goes up to 10 and it stops at 10, the index goes from 0 to 10, and there's 11 spots in there. You may not have defined all of them. Whereas in a dictionary, that's not how it is. In a dictionary, there's the elements of the dictionary are stored in pairs, in name value pairs. And so the elements of a dictionary, of the movie dictionary right now, if we were to print these, movie dictionary would print out like this. And to store it, you need to have a place for this, and you need to have a place for this, and you need to have another place for this, and another place for this. Okay, when you're storing a dictionary. But when you're storing a list, you only need spots for the value, and the indexing is it's all in order. So it's the place, the index is by virtue of its position in the list, whereas in a dictionary it's not. Okay, so what I wanted to show you here is that when you are assigning, or when you're assigning values to it, you haven't, so this is the index of a dictionary item, and this is the value that is associated with that index. And so we are actually, you know, indexing an element. And so when we're indexing an element, we use these brackets. These brackets mean, the brackets mean we're indexing. Okay, so does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's just the way it's expressed, and after a while, I think you'll, you know, sort of, you know, it'll make sense after a while, I think.
So with the brackets, it's like referring to the way that it's indexed versus with the squiggly lines, it's like declaring the dictionary.
Right, right, right. We are just declaring. This is just, the squiggly lines is just kind of a notational thing. And when we want to list out a dictionary, we use squiggly lines because we not only have, because it's not just the position anymore. Whereas with a, you know, a list is just the position. You know, this is index 0 and this is index 1, and we don't have to say the 0 or the 1 anymore because it's just by position. Whereas with a dictionary, you actually have to say what the index is. And so, yes, this is just notational, but as I'm attempting to show up here, we are assigning the value to the 0th element of this movie list here, and you know, so we're assigning a value, and this is how we index. You know, and this is just indexing the position of the value. This is also indexing. You know, we're indexing a value, but in a dictionary, you can actually name the index. And so, you know, so here we're, you know, this refers to an element, you know, movie underscore dictionary. You know, when there's brackets there, that means you're referring to an element. And the thing is if it's a list, then you just put an index number inside there, and that's how you refer to it. If it's a dictionary, then you actually have to put a key. You know, it's, the other thing is that, you know, with a list, you can just say, well, I want, you know, let's see, I'll just start with the first element of the list, and you can just index it, you know, using a 0. You know, the list of 0. That's the first element of the list. You can first see if there's anything in the list. If there is something in the list, then you index the first element by just indexing 0. But that's not true with a dictionary, because you don't know. You may have a dictionary. You can see if it's got anything in it, and by the length, yeah, it's got something in it. But you don't really have a way of referencing, because you need to know an index to be able to reference an element. You know, you can't just say, you know, I want the top element, because there is no top. It's, you know, it's whatever the index is. So, so there's other ways to do it. Basically, though, it involves creating a list, you know, converting it into a list, and then you have some key values, and then you can start accessing it, you know, from that. But anyway, yeah. So it's just that the nature of this, and brackets here are used to declare a list, and squigglies like this is used to declare a dictionary. Squigglies are also used when you print a dictionary, it's going to use squigglies also. But squigglies are also used for sets. You know, there's sets also, you know, SETS, and so Python, you know, if we have something called a movie set, you use squigglies, but it's squiggly, you know, but when you declare it, you know, that's you don't do that, because that means you're declaring a dictionary. You actually do this. That's how you declare something as a set. But here, a set is like a list, except for a movie set. How do you add something to a set? I think you just say add. Gunsmoke. So here we're adding Gunsmoke to the set, and then we're going to add The Simpsons, and then if you're going to list it out, okay, this lists out. Okay, let's get rid of this. Confusing. This is how, if you list out a dictionary, it looks like that. If you list out a list, it looks like that. If you list out a set, it's going to display like this. That's how a set's going to list out. It looks kind of like a dictionary, except for a set only has just the one thing. It doesn't have like a key and then a value. It just has values. Now, just I'm way off on a tangent here, but the way the difference between a list and a set is a list, there's an order. A set, there's no order. The Simpsons, Guns, being the Simpsons first. Here Gunsmoke comes before Simpsons. That's not true here. It happens to be listed that way. The other thing with a list is you can have more than one of the same element. You can have the Simpsons twice in a list, but in a set you can't. In a set, once Simpsons is in there, then it's in there, and you can't. It doesn't make sense to put another one in there because it's. All right. So anyway, good question. I should stress this more. I should have stressed these concepts more. So anyway, let's. What do I not need now? We have read these lines. Oh, I did make a dictionary, right? Yes, I did. Movie dictionary. And so here we're going through the, okay, I'm going through my file here, and I'm going through, this is going to go 0, 2, 4, 6, that's going to go like that. And the first time I'm going to take a movie dictionary of whatever is at index 0, which is this 10 here, that equals the one right after it. It's okay, so this is going to load up my dictionary. And but the problem is when I get to this one, when I get to that one, it's going to overwrite because there already is something at index 20. So that's where the problem lies. So what we want to do then instead is we don't want to set just the name of just this movie name to this index. We want this to be a list if it has to be a list. So so int object, that's interesting. So anyway, so I'm going to do this by, I'm going to create a temporary list. Temporary list equals nothing. And I'm going to say if okay, I'm going to say if this Okay, I'm gonna have to call this something. I'm gonna have to say num seasons. I'm gonna say seasons. I'm gonna say seasons equals that. Okay, that seasons equals that, and movie name equals this. Okay, so now I got them where I can just, okay, so this is the number of seasons. Now, if movie dictionary already contains a number of seasons, and how do I do that? If seasons is in movie dictionary already, if that's the case, then this is a list. Then this is going to be a list because I'm creating, because this is a dictionary of lists where the key is the number of seasons and the value is actually this list. So so no, I'm going to do it this way because it's more clear. If here, this is more clear. If seasons is not in the dictionary, if seasons is not in the dictionary, then I need to attach the movie name in, but it's got to be a list that I append onto this that I add to this dictionary. So here's where my temp list comes in. Temp list append. I think it's append movie name. Okay, and then I can set movies dictionary seasons. How do I append onto a dictionary? Oh, I just go like this. Temp list. No, append temp list. Okay, so let's see how this starts out here. Okay, so the first one is going to come along, and seasons is going to be 10 because it's Gunsmoke. Movie name is going to be Gunsmoke because it's index +1, and then is 10 is 10 is 10 in my dictionary yet? No, it's not in my dictionary. So that means it's going to be a new entry into the dictionary. And so, but what the entry is the entry has to be a list because there could be other movies that have lasted just 10 seasons. So since this is the first movie for 10 seasons, we got to to make a list that contains just one movie in it, Gunsmoke, and then we're going to append that list onto the dictionary where, at index 10. Okay, so this thing is going to append the new list that only contains one movie because it's the first time for 10 seasons. Okay, so this is what happens if seasons is not in movie dictionary. If seasons is in movie dictionary, then we're just going to do movie dictionary seasons no, this has got to be adding. This equals the list, not appending. That equals the list. This appends the list. No, this appends the movie. All right. 421. Okay, so all right, I'm going to try to explain this. So so we come along, we're creating this blank list template. When it starts out with 0, when index is 0, then seasons is equal to 10, and movie name is equal to Gunsmoke. And then we check, is seasons in the movie dictionary? Well, no. In fact, there's nothing in movie dictionary the first time around. So seasons is not in movie dictionary. So what we do here is we append the movie Gunsmoke onto this temporary list. So now this temporary list was empty. Now it's got one movie in it, Gunsmoke. And then we're going to set movie dictionary seasons. We're going to set that equal to this list. So now movie dictionary at index 10, this one, equals this list. And this list just has one movie in it. It's Gunsmoke. Okay, now let's go to law and order. Let's go, I'm gonna go 2, 3. I'm just gonna say 4 is, oh, this is 20. Nobody got that. This is 20. 20 Gunsmoke, 30 Simpsons, 40, 20 is Law and Order. Law and Order. Okay, so now it's going to come down to, let's say that index is, 0 to 4. Okay, now index is 4. Okay, so index is 4. Start out with a blank list. Seasons is 20. Okay, movie name is Law and Order. Wait, no, not a movie. It's not movies. These are TV shows, right? TV shows. Sorry. So TV show name is Law and Order. Now, is seasons in movie dictionary? I called the whole thing movie the whole time. Seasons for a movie, huh? So seasons is in this. Seasons is in movie dictionary. Let me just do something. I'm going to change all movies. I know you're thinking this is stupid. I'm going to change all movies to TVs. There we go. I like that better. So we're at index number 4, and seasons is 20. TV name is Law and Order. And is seasons, if seasons is not in TV dictionary, it is in TV dictionary. So we're down here. So then we set TV dictionary of 20. We're going to append, remember, this is a list now, right? Because we set it equal to a list here. The first time when we're doing Gunsmoke, this is a list that just got Gunsmoke in it, and we set this equal to that list. Okay, now we're down here, and we're dealing with seasons equals 20 again. So this is a list, because this is a list, and it's got Gunsmoke. So this is a list. It's only got one TV name, and it's Gunsmoke. And this is going to append Law and Order onto it. It's going to append it onto that list. Just like this appends Gunsmoke onto this temporary list, and then we set this dictionary element, or this dictionary item, or this dictionary entry at that index, we set that equal to this list. So anyway, so this should create the list of this. This should create our dictionary. So let's run it and see. Oh, let's print TVDICT. Print that out. All right, see what that looks like. Name of TVS. File name is, anyway, it's file1.txt. Okay, so here's what it printed out. It printed out 20 Gunsmoke, Law and Order. 30 is The Simpsons. 10 is Will and Grace. 14 is Dallas, and 12 is Murder, She Wrote. That's what these are here. That's what they are. Okay, now looky here. There's a \n there after every one. Okay, you can get rid of that. Okay, so someplace around here, you got to strip off that \n. Someplace you got to strip that off. Okay, now it's 427. What's next? Do we need to? Oh, well, we have to figure out how to print it out also. So this prints out. So you want for each of these. For each of these, this is the first one. This is the second one. This is the third one. This is the fourth one, and this is the fifth one. You want to print out the key, and then you want to print out the movies. And if there's more than one, there should be a semicolon there. So you would print it out like for key comma value in TV dictionary. I think that works. I think that works. Print. Okay, so I'm just going to do this key value. I'm just going to do that, see what this does. I'm just going to see what this does. And I'm not going to bother printing this out. Okay, it didn't work. Too many values to unpack. I think I got to do this. Items. Okay, so each time it prints out it prints out the key. It also prints that return. So you're gonna want to get rid of that return, that \n. That's why it's on a new line. And then it prints out the list, and it's going to print out the list like that because that's how it prints out a list. So you need to split up that list somehow, and you can do that using join maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just totally guessing. Oh. Nah. Okay. So yeah, this is a list, and I want to maybe I split. No. Converting a list to a string. Well, anyway, you can look that up. It's you need to print out this list so it looks like this. This is the first element. This is the second element. Okay, so see, the next thing you got to do is you want to loop through, and you want to grab all these back, grab all of the titles back out again, So you can do that by, see, I'm just gonna make this so it works. Okay, so now you can do for oh, the other thing is that you have to write this to a file. You have to write this to a file. So you aren't just displaying it out, you're writing it to a file. Let's see. So you can it's a list. So you start out by doing for season in TV dictionary dot keys. So you're just looking at the keys. You want to oh, let's create a list here. TV list equals list. Do I have that already? No, I don't. So for that, I have TV list append TV dictionary season. So this is going to be a list, you know, because we created up here. This is a list. So this is a list, and I'm appending that list onto this thing. So for each of these cases, each time it's just going to append one TV show because this is just a list of one, except for 20 for season of 20 seasons, there's going to be two of them. Okay, now I should be able to. So I'm going to print this list. Can I do this? File one.txt. List doesn't have an attribute sorted. Doesn't now. Okay, well, does this work? No. Oh, can I just do this? What does this do? Oh, okay. This didn't create this list right. What? How do I gotta take it out of being I guess I got to do this for each for movie, you know, for TV show, for the TV show in TV dictionary season. So I gotta break them out one at a time, and then I gotta append this and TV show. Okay, this is for each dictionary entry, And then each dictionary entry has got one or more TV shows. So this loops through all the TV shows in that dictionary entry. Most of the time it's just one, except for dictionary entry for 20. That's going to be 2 of them. And then that, so let's see if this works. This should work. Okay, yes, so this is now a list where they're all split out. All right, so and are they sorted? D, G, L, M, T, W? Yes, and they're sorted. All right, so I've shown you most of what, or a lot of what you need to know. You need to go back into this chapter and figure out how to write this, how to print this stuff out into a file. And I think that's, so you're going to print this out and print this out. So something like, here I'm printing out key value. You can do, for each key, you can do something like it's down here. Shows equals nothing. Or show in TV dictionary key. This is like season. I'll just do key. All right, well, I guess I've taken up enough of your time. What does this look like? Colon, that's all right. This looks a little bit better. This looks a bit more how you should print it out. This out. The problem is you still have those line feeds in there, which you have to get rid of. So you can strip those out somehow. Yeah, that's better. Okay, anyway, I won't take up any more time. All right, so if you have any issues with this or anything else, you can't quite get it, just email me and I'll probably, I can make a follow-up video on this if you need to. If there's anything else, if anybody needs an incomplete or anything, you want to take the you want to work over the vacation, I'm fine with that. And you try to finish up over vacation, January. As soon as you're done, you let me know, and I turn in a grade for you at that time. And there won't be any penalty. But then if we do it by then it's not going to affect any of your any courses, any follow-on courses where this course is a prerequisite. So we get it done right away. And of course, I'll be around during the break also to help you if you need help. So let me know, Robert, if you have your hand up again. You're on mute.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do we have until the 18th in order to complete everything?
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. So this is all auto. Everything is auto graded in this class, right? Okay, so to be honest with you, the 21st is when I'm going to run the grades. So if you need that weekend, you can take the weekend.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I don't want to tell you. If I tell you the 18th and I don't do it till the 21st, then I've given you an artificial deadline, okay? And I don't need to give you an I'll give you my deadline, and the 21st is the day I'm gonna do all our grades one last time, one fell swoop. You know, copy them all down. For this class, I have to copy the grades down one chapter at a time. So but anyway, yeah. So that's when. And at that time, if you need any more time, then let me know.
I see. Okay. Yeah, because all of my other teachers in my other classes have said the 18th because they've mentioned how they need to turn in the grades by the 21st.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, I can't remember if it's the 21st or the 26th. It's different on different campuses, but um, actually, I think it's I say the 21st also. Really, it's the 22nd, but we say the 21st because we do all the grades, and then we look in there and shoot, we're missing a grade from somebody, and we sure that person turned it in. So you contact, and so something's messed up, and if you're doing this on the 22nd, then it's too late. Yeah. So yeah, the 21st, and also. I do it for the 21st for this class because everything's auto graded. There's nothing I have to go in and grade by hand. But that's not true. That's not true in my other classes. So the other classes, it's the 18th, yeah, because I need the weekend.
All right, very cool. Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome. So yes,
Professor, this is Robert. I got a question. Your the 148 programming class.
yes.
For next semester, are you going to use Zybooks or are you going to use the Pearson again?
I'm done using Pearson.
Because I'm taking with the override you gave me, I'm taking this class and then I'm taking the 148.
Yes.
So that's why I'll send you an email just one to one, but only reason why is this with the COVID-19, it's really affected everybody, but for students and for I really like this class taking yours, but like I mentioned before, like the programming, especially the Python,
Mm-hmm.
like all the research that I've done, and when I finish all of this, I'll be sure to share it with you and also Professor Singer too, because I've been in contact. But I mean, and this is something for all of you other students too. But I mean, I'm using my V benefits, and out here in Hawaii, like the federal government is the big sector for IT.
Mm-hmm.
Besides like help desk and support, like some of the higher level IT stuff, like I'm seeing a lot more of the Army and even the Department of Navy, doing like developing, like Python.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the Zybooks, because the Pearson and Zybooks totally different. Like I had a really hard time. The Zybooks I understood, but then the Pearson was kind of tough. So that's why I wanted to ask you for next semester which text you're going to use it for programming. And my last question: the other programming class that you teach, the 200 level,
Yes.
is that a class that's transferable to like Manoa or West Oahu?
Well, it does count. It transfers to West Oahu and it counts for your degree, the degree to articulate over there. Yeah, I'm wondering why so few people have signed up for 228. I think part of it is that I know that I went and changed a bunch of prerequisites for my 3-level classes where you didn't have to take 228, so that's possible. Also, I'm the folks in 148 this semester had Dave Stevens for 128 last time, and he used the Pearson book, and I used to use the Pearson book also. And so the only reason I had 148 use the Pearson book is because you had the Pearson book in 128. And also I didn't know enough about Zybooks then, but I like Zybooks much better because in Pearson forces you to go in and put deadlines. And so I'm always in there, I put in a deadline because I don't want people to fall behind, but then I got to go in there and change the deadlines, extend the deadlines. So, to give people, well, really you have until the 18th. But then the 18th comes around and there's like 3 or 4 people that Steve, they only have the weekend. So I got to go in and change the deadlines again. And with Zybooks, I don't have to do any of that. It's whenever I go in and download the grades is when it is. And if I had a deadline earlier and I didn't go in and grab down the grades in time, well, that's my problem, So, yeah. So now I feel sorry for the people in 148 because in 228, for those that are going on to take 228, it's possible that we don't run 228, but then we're switching. But I think the Zybooks. I think people like the Zybooks better. It's just the animation is better, and it's kind of like what Pearson is trying to be. Pearson is trying to be as good as Zybooks, but I think Zybooks is just way ahead.
The 228 class, what textbook do you use for that now?
We're going to use the Zybooks, and there's actually
the 228.
Yeah, it's 228. Let me so the Zybooks, if we actually go, let's go back out again to my library, and for next semester 228 228 is this one, and there's actually like a second Python book, and so the 228 textbook is actually a combination of the one you're using now in 128, in fact. So 128 goes up to like, goes up to like classes, and I threw on files. And then 148 is going to start, probably going to review some of the important stuff here. And then you'll go down into this area. We'll touch on sorting algorithms, searching and sorting, touch on some data structures and trees and so on. And then for 228, we're just going to do more of that. 228 is the third semester, and that's going to go down into this stuff down here: graphs, algorithms, B trees, heaps and trees, and so on. They're just data structures that are connect to things, and trees look like trees look like this, and you got root nodes, and you got a way to go from this node to that node, and it's all about this stuff. And there's in programming there's about 10 different data structures, 10 of these different structures. There's about 15 different algorithms, and you learn all those, and everything else is sort of derived from that. So what we want to do is expose you guys to all this kind of stuff, and then when you go out in the real world, if you actually are writing programs, you can refer back to this. Let's see, I don't think, because it's Zybooks. No, it's Zybooks is different than IDAP. Zybooks is, I'm gonna I will here instructions for, so I'm gonna click, so I'm gonna send you this, and so this is the code. So this this is the code, and you go to Zybooks and you go to this code and you pay $77. And so, yeah, you can't have, there's no
But
use.
do we pay it, or is it charged to our student account like all the other textbooks?
I don't know. Did you pay for this? Did you pay for this class?
Yeah, because it was for 128. We know, I don't know, like for the other students, did you guys get charged for this book, those iBooks?
I was not charged on my student account. I had to buy the book. There were two options. There was until the end of December, I believe, and it was around like $54 or something. And then there was an option for one complete year, and it was more like $76. And I bought the one for the complete year.
Oh.
So
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, so did you buy? So are you going to be able to? If you take, are you taking 148 then?
Yeah, next semester.
Yeah. So are you gonna? So are you going to be able to sign up for the 148 book, or I mean, it's the same one, but if you're still stuck on back on the 128 book, then I can just make sure that it has all the stuff. In fact, I think it does have all the stuff already.
Well, I mean, theoretically, shouldn't you be able to buy more than one book at a time?
Yeah, right. I hope so. Yeah. I'm sure.
You worried there. You worried me there for a second. I was like, oh.
Well, oh, yeah, and that's what we'll find out. And so if it turns out, I'm sure it's not, but if it turns out you can only get one, then I will just make the one that we've been using. I mean, in fact, it's the same, but for 128 and 148, it's the same. It's not until 228 where you're gonna go deeper into this stuff down here. So, but anyway, yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, with that one, I sort of took a risk, because like I didn't want to not be able to access the material once the semester was over, because I figured learning Python, there were going to be a lot of different definitions, functions, sort of even just like going back and reviewing, syntax for like commands and things like that. And I didn't want to not be able to have access to that information. So I decided like it's just $20 more, like might as well have a little bit longer to review if I'm actually going to use it. And I was right, and I'm very happy that I did that actually.
Yeah, good, and I'm glad you pointed that out to me, because, and I think I'll do more of this. I will reference the standard documentation on the web more often, because after a while, you may find that there's certain places, like the Python documentation, or like this W3 schools and so on. And after a while, you maybe will find some internet sources that are a little bit better than the book. Sometimes when I'm preparing to, like today, when I was preparing for this lab, I wanted to look up the different dictionary methods for referring to just the keys or just the items and so on. And I had trouble finding it in this book. So that's when I actually went out and searched the web. But good, that's excellent feedback. And I'll make sure that I take advantage of that. It probably will help then if, when I'm going over something in the future, like next semester, if we have to go and review stuff earlier, that might be good for you, because you'll be familiar with it and you'll have it, all that. So
Yeah.
all right. Okay, so it's a question here. ITS, what's your question, Mr. Liu? ITS, what class main for Python? Python is the main programming language now that we're using, and we used to use we used to use a Visual Studio.net language, specifically C#, but there's other .NET languages in that Microsoft family. There's Python.net also, but it requires a third-party plugin. The other thing that I'm happy about moving away from Visual Studio is that, especially for beginning programmers, there's so much to learn in Visual Studio. That you spend so much time learning about the development environment, the integrated development environment, the IDE, that you don't really have enough time to spend on coding. And I think that complexity of the IDE kind of scares some people away. In Python, it's great. You just pull up a DOS prompt, you just type in some stuff, and you run your programs real quick, and you're doing much more programming and coding than you are navigating the development environment. So we do, it's, okay, Java is probably the most common language and programming language, most universal still, I think. The big systems write their code in Java. We actually have a three-level Java course, but I don't know why we don't teach that more often. They use Java in ITS111 and ITS211, so that's kind of our excuse, or that's other people in my department's excuse for not going with Java. There's so many other languages. Right now, I think it's pretty important that people learn Python, because I mean it is all the rage, and all of the principles and concepts in programming languages, which is objects and classes and all that, keeping track of the variable types, having to convert variable types, and knowing what you're doing. That's all in Python, and you will see those in some form or another in other programming languages, and someday if you work on a large team, and all you did was learn Python, and now you're working on a large team, and the team is using Java, or the team is using C#, you're going to find that, yeah, you're going to spend a lot of time learning about the integrated development environment. You're going to spend some time with the syntax. The syntax of those other languages is different. You're going to learn that indentation is just for show. It's just for looks. You got to put a semicolon after each statement. It's not just a new line, it's a semicolon, and you learn that kind of stuff. And things are pretty much the same. The principles are, the if then else structure, the for loop, the while loop, strings, string manipulation, the indexing, lists. Lists are arrays. They're called arrays in other languages, but it's all the same stuff. But with Python, there's so many of these, at the top where you import something. There's so many of those classes that you can import to do stuff. There's like way more than any other language, and I think that's what makes it such a popular language now. And it's just like, geez, you can do anything in Python, and it's because people have written those classes and they've made them available. All right. Any other questions? So send me an email if you need anything, and I hope I see you guys next semester. And if you need anything, just give me a holler.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for watching.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome.